What's up? What's up? How's it going? Stu Bonham, welcome to the stream. Going good? Ugh. Trying to work on mission control a little bit. Trying to keep making YouTube videos. I don't know why sometimes it loads two terminals. It's kind of strange. All right, so the way I'm going to be doing work on this is I have the actual mission control project, like the latest version here, and I'm using it to work on adding features to my dev mission control. Let me move this over here so I can work on this. A couple things I just want to kind of play around with. I'm using Composer 2.5 in this stream. I want to kind of test it out. And the last thing I was kind of working on was some of these buttons didn't have tooltips. So like, for example, if I go to the adding a project, let me have my phone real quick. So this was saying that it wasn't part of the settings. So like adding a project, if I go to key bindings, yeah, I don't think it was here. Oh no, it was there. Adding project, add a project dialog, Control O. Like two different key bindings. That's kind of strange. Let me read through this. Modal times buttons, all dialogues. Every modal close buttons now use escape tooltip. Okay, cancel. Wrong hotkey for the add project. Toolbar button show to add new, but the button opens the add project, which is down to. Session. So there's a bunch of things that I don't have the ability to rebind for some reason. All these should be rebindable. So I'm going to go ahead and just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 that are rebindable. So I'm going to go ahead and just prompt Composer. I don't think I have Super Whisper open. Let me turn that on. There seems to be 8 hotkeys in the settings that can't be rebound for some reason. Can you make sure that these are all reboundable? That's kind of weird. I don't know why there's a session panel, but there's no sessions over here. That's probably a bad state I gotta fix. But I think another thing I wanted to fix was I want to be able to click and drag these into the chat panel as reference. Can you allow a user to click and drag one of the pinned project squares in the left pinned projects panel and drop them into the chat session for all the different chat sessions, including Claude Code, Cursor, codex, open code, and it should put the absolute path to that project pasted into the session as text. Try this one out as well. So unfortunately, I didn't have the other session was like gone. That might be a little bug or something. So that's completely gone now. I'm not able to go back to that, I don't think. But it's probably running the background, fixing my settings. So like if I go over here and refresh this, at some point it should be done. Or it'll just be broken. But let me just let that finish. With Cursor getting access to SpaceX AI's Colossus 1 data center, I expect Composer to get better and better. Yeah, so far it's pretty good. I've been playing around with it. I still think GPT 5.5 is the best model. Like, you should probably just use 5.5. Although Composer is really good for fast stuff. So like I need to ask a quick question over my code base, and it doesn't have to be like 100% accurate. That's still my go-to. Or you need to do a quick little refactoring over code that you already have a bunch of end-to-end and like integration tests over, or unit tests. I can trust that a little bit more. But I found I was trying to ask some like more complex features to add in from Composer, and it was just missing stuff still. Like it's a good model, it's a fast model, but it's still not as intelligent as GPT 5.5. And I found the more I'm using these AI models, I would rather just have a model that is extremely smart, can get it done the first time properly, than having to come back and test manually and reprompt and test again and reprompt. So I'd rather wait 5 or 10 minutes if I know the model's going to get it right the first prompt versus having something fast. I've kind of changed my standpoint. I really used to like Composer because it was fast. But I noticed myself going back and having to fix stuff constantly. Let's see. You can now drag pin project squares. But like even this, I just added a new feature to be able to click and drag pin projects. I'm not sure what happened here. I got to figure out what's broken. Let me just rerun this. Come on, load up. All right, what's this? React has detected. React has detected a change in the order of hooks being called by project bar. Will lead to bugs. All right, let's fix this one. Releases connection refused. That's fine. Project image. Okay, I can't find all my project images for some reason. Huh. All right, let me I'm gonna paste this one in. Yeah, there's something going on with like the pasting in the cursor window. Like messes up my scroll bar or something. What was it doing? Oh, I need to fix this. All right, that bug is gone. I am curious, what did it do wrong there? Because again, like this is what I'm saying about Composer 1. Like it works good, but then like misses stuff. It does stuff kind of improperly sometimes. The issue was use binding being called after the early return. So it's like maybe I should add in like a React skill so it has a better understanding of React, because right now it seems like I was a little bit confused. Let's just go ahead and go to Academy, kick off a new session. This is in Codex. Let me switch this to Cursor. Awesome. I can click and drag projects directly in here now. So I guess this is pretty good because like for example, with Agent System, which by the way, if you guys want access to what I'm working on, there's a free download. Go to agentsystem.dev downloads. And I have the latest version up there. I've tested on Mac. I've tested on Windows. I haven't tested Linux. So if you guys do want to test this out and give me feedback if there's any bugs, again, you can use it for free up to 2 projects. And there's a community Discord. If you find bugs, you can kind of chat about it there. I'll leave a chat message for you guys. Is the auto update feature coupled to user accounts? No. It's just, if you have mission control on your computer, it's going to update that mission control installation. There's no account system. Like, even when you're using this locally, you don't have to log in or anything. What's up? What's up, Harish? Martin says, I remember you mentioned that you use AI-generated images for borders, then the 9 slice them. I am looking at the borders, and they look like there's a separate border for buttons for panels and in the nav left. I think I use the exact same image for all these. You notice if you look at them, they're all the same. I think buttons, yeah, I think you're right. Buttons may be a different image, but I think it's still a 9 slice image. Is that UI all made by AI? Yeah, every single line of code in this project is written by AI. The image was used using chat. Let me open up this project. Hold on, let me go to open, reveal in Flat Finder. Let me show you my images. Oh, wrong one. Let me go here. Okay, so if you go to borders, I have this folder that has all the images. I know it's not the most efficient way. I need to come back through in some point, refactor these. But if I go to preview, this is the button. So basically the button is just one giant button that scales down based on the size of the button. And then the border, I have different colors for all the borders here. Now I have tried using just a grayscale image and then telling, using like a CSS transformation to kind of scale it using filters. But it completely messed up all the padding and margin in my application. And so that's something I need to revisit, because when you download Mission Control, it's downloading all these different images. Well, I think it's downloading them when you switch your theme. Which, again, this is a bunch of additional like stuff we don't necessarily need to ship in a bundle. Like, it's probably an extra 10 megabytes. So I need to make that more efficient. But that's kind of how that works. And at some point I did fix, I swear I fixed something that's, let me test something. Print hello world. So if you notice here, the background doesn't have any black, but when I go to my actual like version 035, print hello world. You notice that there's a black background here. It's being cut off at the top, but like, I fixed this at some point. I'm not sure why that's not, probably my changes, maybe my git diff. Let me look at my images. Use UI. It could also be caching, maybe. Anyway. Yeah, so I mean, the main thing I wanted to fix, someone reached out last night and said, hey, I have some feedback on your app. Basically, he has a project that has like maybe like 8 different repos in it, which is the exact same approach I'm using for mission control. So for example, if I were to open up, let me go find another project I have. Let's go to Agent System Labs. So I have all these different things in Agent System Labs. I have Core, Cloud, Academy, Essentials. Technically, I can open that one up. I think I already have that open, don't I? Yeah, I already have Essentials. So if I go back, I want to group this one. It'd be nice if I could group it here. Like right-click and group it, because right now I have to go into this, and then I have to say edit, and then I have to click on the group Agent System Labs. It's already grouped there. Yeah, they're all grouped. I wonder if I could change the UX a little bit here. I'll have to think about that. What's this? Needs input. Let's just delete this stuff. Kind of weird how this is like going off the screen. Let me fix that little. Let's see if Composer 1 can fix this. Screenshot. Paste it in. Notice that in the search input on the main dashboard page, the hotkey is kind of going off the screen. Or sorry, going off the button. Can you like add some margin to the right of that so it stays inside the button? And I am going to go ahead and just open up these changes, and then I'm going to accept all so that lose that. Defaults. Oh, looks like it's missing open code here. So yeah, I need to go through here, add another one. On the defaults panel in the settings route, I'm noticing that open code is not there, but I have support for open code. Can you go and make sure that's added to that panel as a default option? Search focus. All right, let me go back to the actual app here. Got to refresh. Okay, so that added in there. I might just make it. You know, I might just remove those from there. Everything else in the application that has a shortcut, it's a tooltip. So when you hover over it, it tells you exactly what you can do. But this one, for some reason, it has it in the input, which is not going with my current user experience, I guess. So I might actually go back and just tell it to remove it from inside the input. And then also, cursor doesn't seem to be adding the initial prompt titles. That seems like it's kind of broken too. I changed my mind. Can you actually just inside of the input just remove the shortcut displays? Because right now when you hover over it, there's a tooltip that tells you what the shortcut is. And right now the input kind of goes against my current user experience. So just go ahead and remove it from the input itself. Yeah, I got to fix the titles. I don't know why that's not There we go. That's good. So now if I'm over here clicking around, I can just type in essentials, clear that out. You go to this project folder is missing. What is this one? Prompt tester. I must have deleted it. Sometimes I like change, called skill tester now. Okay, but I don't want that pin, so I'll unpin it. Yeah, I got to fix the cursor titles. For some reason, they're not being generated. So let's go and delete these, make a new session. I'm noticing that when I set up a cursor session and I enter my initial prompt, it's not generating the title or the thumbnail like it does for all the other sessions. There's supposed to be a hook that gets installed that cursor will run so that we can generate these titles. First, go online and look to make sure cursor supports. The cursor agent CLI supports hooks. And if so, reevaluate how the hooks are set up in Mission Control project and try to fix it. If Cursor does not support hooks, then let me know before making any code changes. Use the ship skill. So yeah, let's just see what that does. If it's the same single asset, then how did you achieve this? This does not look like a normal 9 slice. I would like to learn some tricks. I think it's a 9 slice. I mean, let me just go ahead and ask. So I'm gonna go ahead and just make a new session here. And a viewer in my stream is asking, how did I get the cool cards, themed borders and background for my different cards and my buttons and stuff? Can you just explain concisely how I implemented this? I'm pretty sure it's a 9 slice. Just like background border, and then I point it to a URL, and then for the actual background itself of the card, I guess we'll find out. It's a custom sci-fi UI skin built on a PNG 9 slice borders plus accent theming, not a UI library theme borders. Let's see, it does on borders. All right, here it is, CSS border image. It's literally just a card that has a CSS border image. And then the background buttons works the same way. There's a pseudo selector before that draws the frame. And then based on the theme you have selected, it swaps out the actual images. So it's a 9 slice. Mission Control would like to access your files and your documents. This is something I don't understand about Claude Code and these CLI tools. Sometimes they try to access things that they should not be accessing. I don't know why it's trying to go to my documents, so I'm just going to say no. But I've had Claude Code try to access my music. Honestly, you should probably be running these things in like a Docker container. I don't trust these agents at this point. My system's probably already compromised, but I am adding in a solution to Mission Control. I'm adding in VMs that Mission Control will actually open up a TTY session to a VM. So all your stuff runs in the cloud in an isolated environment. And then, yeah, it kind of does all the work there. I heard devs are working harder with AI than they were before. Is that the case? I think it just depends. I think some devs are pushing themselves to the absolute limit because they realize that they're in this like opportune window of opportunity. They have this perfect opportunity window to build something very fast and get it out there and try to make money before everyone else in the world is doing the same thing. So I think some are working extremely fast because like now if someone else can prompt you, like someone could literally build Mission Control right now if they wanted to. It would probably take them a lot more than the $79 I'm asking for the pro version. But someone could take a screenshot of this right now as I'm going through this stream, take screenshots of every different panel, and then they could paste it in the Claude Code and tell Claude Code to generate a plan, a phased plan of like setting this stuff all up, and they can let this run and come back, and it'll probably be 70 to 80% there, and then they have to come back through and add the polish. So it's very easy to basically rebuild any other application that you see. It's just a matter of like, do you want to invest your tokens and your subscription tokens and your time to rebuild that something else that someone else is already building, I guess. But I will say my app is broken now, so what this is. I might have to just bounce my server. Hold on. So I might go to, oh yeah, it's not been running. I'm not sure how it got messed up, but I'm gonna close this out. All right, let me see what I was talking about for the titles. So one of these, yeah, that's the card stuff, right? I don't care about that anymore. I don't know why that didn't delete. There's some technical difficulties going on with the the cursor sessions for some reason. Cursor does not support hooks. Cursor supports hooks in both the IDE and cursor agent CLI via. Why would you say it doesn't, but then say it does? Cursor supports hooks in both the IDE and cursor agent CLI. The CLI support is partial as of cursor form updates. April, May 2026. Cursor agent fires. Session start. I'm going to switch my theme. There we go. Now we're cooking. User submits prompt in Claude Terminal before. Okay. Fix apply terminal prompt fallback for cursor. When you press enter for cursor sessions, mission control captures the typed prompt and with this. I mean, it says it fixed it, but we're going to go back. It looks like my app is just completely broken now. So this is something I'm seeing a lot when I'm using Composer. I notice that the app breaks much more. It just sometimes breaks. You have to come back through and prompt it. Something you changed seems like it's breaking my Electron app now. Can you please fix this? Yeah, while that runs, let me go back. By several rounds to solve an issue with 5.4 and Copilot, it failed. 5.5 and Codex one-shotted it. Yeah, 5.5 is definitely the best model at this point. There's almost no point to use Copilot after the recent changes. I would rather use Cursor. Yeah, unfortunately, for some reason, a lot of projects in teams and companies, they're like dictating that you can only use Copilot. Strange. They probably have some good deal with Microsoft, and everyone already uses VS Code. But I mean, Copilot works as all these tools are literally the same. Like they're just the same. Internally, the harnesses may be a little bit different, and that's probably the main differentiator between them. I would bet on Cursor because Cursor has like so much funding. It has XAI on their team now. What's up, Leon? How's it going? Hey, Cody in chat. What do you think of Composer 2.5 so far? So far, I think it's pretty good. It's a fast model. It's smart. I would rather use GPT 5.5 for any hard task. Like anything that's somewhat complex at all, I still just would rather default to Codex 5.5. I think if you need to make like a small little UI tweak, Composer is really great for that. If you need to do a small bug fix, maybe Composer is great. If you need to generate a diagram or just ask questions over your code base, Composer is great because it can just give you that response super fast. But I found that it honestly seems like it breaks my app a lot more than Codex 5.5. Like right now, it's just a black screen in my app. And I don't know if that's because like my system got to a bad state or something else, but it's stuff like that I don't necessarily ever see with GPT 5.5. Are more features planned for pro users? Honestly, my approach right now is if you are a light user, you get the exact same features as a pro user. Maybe that's a bad strategy. Basically, light users just get feature gated. Sorry, they only get 2 projects max. Okay, I just need to close this out. Hold on. My app is broken. When you submit your first prompt, what was the root cause of this? Okay, well, it's fixed now. So let's go back to Academy. And then we're going to go and make sure we have the diagram skill installed for Cursor. Was that an error? What did I just say? Okay. Use the diagram skill and diagram me how the mission control distributions are stored into Academy, like what endpoints and stuff. So I'm hoping that when I run this, the title and the icon should change. I have it so it kind of uses whatever current tool you're using, like I'm using Cursor Agent, it's going to use that to infer what the title should be and also what the icon should be. So if I'm asking about a diagram, I'm guessing that this will be a diagram. Just so it kind of gives you another, okay, is my testing. I don't know why that popped up. Okay, so it gave me a git, like a graph. That's pretty cool. And I'm expecting, so I have a skill that you can install to help you generate diagrams and kind of display them. It looks like it didn't fully work for Cursor though. So I think I'm going to have to go and like debug that too. And also deleting sessions don't seem like they're, oh wait, hold on. What's going on there? There's some wonkiness going on with hotkeys. Sometimes like it doesn't seem like it deletes the sessions. It seems like when I ask Cursor to use the diagram skill, it doesn't show the diagram modal. Can you go through and verify that all of that logic is set up correctly so that Cursor knows how to invoke mission control to show the skills? Or sorry, to show the mermaid diagram. Use the ship skill for debugging this. Yeah, I'm curious if there's actually like a... Shit got broken again. Okay, let me just close that out. I don't think the code's broken. I think like I'm prompting Cursor to like make changes to the running app and then that gets it into a bad state. So maybe like the live reload isn't necessarily working like it used to. I don't know. Typically, I'll be honest, typically I work on mission control using Ghosty. So I have like a Ghosty terminal open. And I don't normally do mission control to work on mission control. I just kind of did it for my stream because I thought it'd be pretty cool. But now I'm noticing that there's like strange reset behaviors. I'm guessing there's like port collisions going on, but yeah, let's see what I did over here. It's still working. Did you use the new Cursor Agent SDK to add Composer to mission control? No, honestly, I probably use Codex. That's a more complex task. Like at this point, I have a good gauge in my head of like when a task or a feature or a bug is probably too complex, and I would probably just use Codex to begin with. Well, I'm kind of like, and honestly, I don't even see a use case for using Opus 4.7 right now. Like Codex is just that much better. So I'm guessing they're going to come out with their next version of the model. It's going to become better, but what did I use for this UI? It's just using TanStack and React for the UI. Bro, you could delete KBD component, right? Why use AI? I don't understand what you're asking. Or reminds me of StarCraft. Yep, that's the inspiration. Blizzard, StarCraft, Warcraft 3. That's what I'm inspired by. Hey, what's up, Sharon? In the project page, you use cards to show the project. Will there be an option to just have a list, easy to sort, like last name edit? Yeah, that's actually a good feedback. That's good feedback. We could add it in the stream right now if you want. What's up, lag? I love it when my editor contains vulnerabilities. So what is the process? Prompt is greater than changes to go to GitHub. You accept changes. How exactly does it work right now? So yeah, my process, whether it's in Mission Control or Cursor or VS Code, I prompt the agent to make the code changes, and then I go and I actually review the code changes with a git diff. And then as, I'm reading through, I just skim through. I make sure everything seems like it's good. Now, I'll be honest, for side projects and stuff like this, I don't read the code as much. For work projects where I could get fired if I ship bad code, I do review all the code. Okay, I do have a full-time job, by the way, and I do review all the code at my work job because I actually want to be employed. For my side projects, though, I think it's very less necessary. I do pay attention to the edges and the seams of systems. Like, for example, if I have a REST API, I make sure that all the API endpoints have a middleware and authentication in front of it. And then I'll probably even prompt a session to go and do a full system audit to make sure that I'm not potentially leaving stuff exposed. But I found that these agents are like very, very capable of literally doing everything. And with Composer 2.5, I mean, like you're paying, it's not very expensive to prompt now. It's very cheap. All right, let's kind of read this. Does it specify where the bug was? The MC repo itself had the skill, but ever posted SSE filter deck. Now, granted, at this point with 62 changes, I would recommend that you should ask for like one feature, review all the code, accept it, and then go on to the next feature. And so like after you've kind of accepted it, that's like my review process. And then I just do everything on main. You can do work trees, which I do have work tree support. If you go to, where's my work tree stuff? Oh, I'm on an old version. I'm on a way old version of mission control. That's why I need to update. Well, hopefully I haven't been fixing a bunch of stuff that's already been fixed, because that would suck. All right, what was I fixing? There was something with the diagramming. Okay, so like if I go to Academy, I want to make sure I have my skills installed. It says it's already installed for Cursor CLI, but let me do a hard refresh because I didn't do that. Let's go here, install my diagram skills. I'm going to ask real quick. Actually, I could just go to the terminal. I'm going to say, look at Cursor. We have skills. We have the diagram skill. Okay, so we're in Academy. This should work. I'm going to go ahead and just reprompt this with the... Let's see if we can do this. Oh, there we go. I got my diagram now. A little issue though. I noticed there's a little issue. I think it created multiple diagrams, but it only shows the last one. So that's problematic. I'm going to go over here and actually we're going to just update this with my auto updater. I got to figure out why the auto updater is not working. Let me clear these. I do believe as you have these sessions open, it does use more memory. So we don't want that. Oh, you know what? I added an option where you actually have to like... Oh wait, no, hold on, let's see. No, it's fine. I'll just manually download this. I don't know what's going on here. The whole time I was using an old version of Mission Control. The heck is that error? By the way, you guys can check it out. It's free. Want to play around with it? Oh yeah, this was a good feedback item. Let me copy this before I forget about it. And then we're going to open up. I have like too many mission controls. Why are there 3 that show up? Alrighty. So, what version are we on now? We got work trees turned on. Great. Install updates when quitting. Download updates automatically. Turn that on. All right. So we can just go ahead and full screen this one again. This will be on my main. All right, there might be a little thing I have to kind of work on. So I did recently. I might kick off a codex one for this one. I recently did some refactoring to bring in core pack so that it could build and work on Windows. But now when I tried to run the start command, it seems to throw this error. Where's my launch commands? Run pm dev. Have I tried the MacBook Neo? I have not. What do you think about Codeberg? Are you consider switching to it given the recent issues with the GitHub? I don't even know what Codeberg is. Isn't that some like... No, honestly, I'm not going to switch off GitHub. I think that it's just not realistic. And just because one service has one issue, that's no reason to completely switch over to another provider. Like, I feel like developers are so quick to like, let's just drop everything because they ran into one issue. Might finally need to buy Mission Control Pro Lite version 2. Promise limit drives me crazy. Oh, sure. I'll give you a key. Don't buy it. I'll give you a key, man. Just give me a second. I got to figure out how to even give you a key. Because right now it's all hooked into like Stripe and the webhooks. And so like I'd have to go and figure out what tables that I actually have to manually update. But you've helped me out so much that I'll give you a free key. Don't worry about buying anything. Have you seen this repo? Builders Lab Mission Control. I have not. Is this like the same thing? MC Builders. Oh, cool. Cost token. This definitely looks vibe coded, huh? Yeah, I mean, there's like 1,000 agentic development environments now that are free. And the argument for even paying for one is kind of hard to like justify personally. I'm just building this for myself. I think there's a lot of projects out there that they just keep on adding in more and more features and they bloat the entire application to the point where it's impossible to even understand what's going on. I'm trying to take a different approach because I already ran into that situation with Automaker. We kept on adding features to Automaker and Automaker to make it really great. We had all these weird integrations, and it was just too much. And at the very end, like, I just wanted to distill it down to the very bare minimum I need to be able to be successful doing agentic coding on various projects, not only at work, but also my side projects, right? And then also having the aesthetic that I like. So I don't foresee this making me a bunch of money. I foresee it more of a tool that I use and I'm going to be using on my streams and on my channel, and you guys can buy a copy if you want to support me. If not, you can go use some of these other free tools. But yeah, there's a ton of really great tools out there, honestly. Like this one probably is better than mine. But overall, you made it. I completely moved away from my version of Automaker and prefer to use Mission Control instead. Yeah. Thanks for all the content, for sure. How does any of this help me get a GF? Well, if you get really good at programming and you make money, I'm sure you can get a GF that way. It's a bonus. It's a plus. What UI library does Mission Control use? It's not using a UI library. It's just using Tailwind CSS with like gaps and padding and margin and stuff like that. I believe every single dropdown is literally custom. I could probably ask. Let me ask real quick. I really don't think it's using a UI library. Is Mission Control using a UI library? Such as Shad CN or anything? I'm using Sonar for the toasts that pop up. That's something I know for sure. Okay, we're using Sonar for the toast, Lucid for the icons, UIW and Code Mirror for the code editor, Xterm for the terminals, and Mermaid for the diagram rendering. So we're not using any type of Shad CN or component library. UI lives in components UI with hand-rolled primitives like button, modal, tooltip, text field, confirm, etc. Yeah. I guess it just goes to so you don't need a UI library. Literally, AI can build the UI components for you and like make them specific for your needs. All right, the real error was not Core Pack itself. Vite was failing because this was already in use. Yeah, I think this is just an issue I'm running into because I'm running like Mission Control and then trying to spin it up. I didn't mean to close out of that. Anyway, let's just run this again and see if it works. Word is already in use. Yeah, I think it's because I'm like running it already. So I just need to do an LSOF I57, what was the port? 5713. Do a codex for this one. So I'm running into a problem. I want to develop on Mission Control using an already I'm running into an issue with Mission Control. I want to develop building upon Mission Control and being able to run it locally. But the issue is when I'm running Mission Control in my Electron app with the distribution, I think it's using the same ports. Can you make sure that when I spin up Mission Control, if a port's already in use, it should just try to get the next incremental port so that it can actually run? And then also make sure double check cores and all this other stuff can work properly with the specified port if that existing port was already in use. I think that might be the issue. Not too sure. Like I mentioned, when I'm not on stream, I typically just load up Ghosty and I iterate on Mission Control using Ghosty. But I have a feeling that it's trying to load up the dev version of Mission Control and it's a port collision. But this is a good fix anyway, because if someone's trying to run Vite and they also try to run Mission Control has an internal API, right? So it needs a port. So I want to make sure there's no like collision in that regard. Anyway, while this is running, let's just go ahead and prompt off something else. Someone asked for the feature to potentially switch the project view to a list, or was it sessions? Let's go back over here. In the projects page, can you use cards to show the projects? Yeah, I'm going to copy his whole comment. Sorry it took so long to get to this, but we're going to go ahead and just like add this in. I do think it might be useful. Add 2 buttons with add 2 icon buttons that allow a user to toggle between the card view on the projects page dashboard and the list view. Do I want to add this though? I think I'm getting into a territory where I'm adding stuff that I don't care about. Like, maybe a table might be nice. I'll think about it. I don't know if I want to add this, honestly. It just adds more complexity to my actual code base, which means that AI is going to get a little bit more confused when I prompt it stuff. And I personally want to use a table. I like how this is with cards, and so I guess I would ask if you're if you're a pro member, if you bought a subscription, and then I consider adding that feature in, but I don't see a use case for it right now. Maybe sorting, maybe that's what you actually want to do. Like, what is the actual root issue with this view? Is it because you want to be able to sort by the stuff that you recently touched? Because if that's the solution, I can add a drop down to sort by most recently touched. But I don't know if he's still on the stream, so. What to do if we are not keeping up with the agent? Like, it's generating so much code that I could read, and in the end, I just accept. Yeah, I mean, at the end, it boils down to risk, right? Are you okay accepting the risk that these agents aren't perfect and the code they generate is not perfect? And if you're not reviewing all the code it generates, do you have a strategy in hand to like make sure that you do an audit to make sure that it doesn't have a bunch of security vulnerabilities? I think that's the major thing that we need to look out for, is the security vulnerabilities. Everything else, like, okay, you add some code and it makes the code base a little bit less performant. You can fix that later on. Also, you can have skills in place. Like, I have a whole collection of skills I use to help find duplicate code and clean that up, to review the code before you actually commit it. That can help make the code better. But yeah, if you're not reviewing the code at the end of the day, the risk falls on you. Like, that's your responsibility. And so if you're doing that at a job and you ship a giant security vulnerability and you leak all your users' data, they're not going to sue the AI company. They're going to come after you, right, for being negligent. So I guess, I don't know. If you're moving that fast that you're not reviewing the code, find a strategy where you can at least hone in on the things that are important, like the APIs, whatever system commands you may be calling, whatever packages that you're installing. Make sure you have Sneak, npm audit running. Never read or review code. We're getting rich with vibe coding to get a GF. Get it or get left behind. Also, I finally moved my whole setup to my family house and got a new desk, so I might finally buy a 3D printer soon to start building some fun ESP32 LCD projects. Oh, that's cool. S8X. Hey, WebDev Cody. Wondering if you need a partner to build some projects, looking for a co-founder, and love to discuss. Potentially. I mean, I honestly don't know if I have much time to do stuff like that, but you can reach out to me on Discord. We can chat about it. Okay, I'll do the UI thing. I'll do the table stuff. Since you are a pro member. Okay. I only have like 5 pro members, so I gotta actually build stuff for my members. And we're gonna use cursor. So let's go ahead and run this one. A user is asking on the main dashboard that shows all the projects and cards, they want to be able to view it in a single table. And in that table, they want to be able to sort the column headers to be able to at least sort by last name, name, creation date, category, online, running, etc. Can you go ahead and implement this using the ship skill for them and add a toggle at the top of the page so they can toggle between the card view and the table view? Make sure you default it to the card view. But when they switch it from the card view to the table view, you need to persist this setting in their SQLite database so that next time they load the app, it'll keep that setting for every single project they go to. There's a fun one. Hope it doesn't, asking for stuff like this is sometimes dangerous because it might restart my running ports. What was this one? All right. Hoping by the end of this stream, I can actually ship the next version of Mission Control and you can start using the table. Okay, implemented the port fallback. I'm hoping I can run this now. Well, I didn't make edit. Hold on. This one will work with it. Hey, looks like it actually loaded up. Let's see if it loads up my Electron app. Oh, there it is. Hey, it's working now. Yeah, so again, like a request like that, codex, for sure. Oh yeah, there's another thing I wanted to add in, so let's go to cursor. I noticed that when I ask cursor and some other CLI tools that generate diagrams, sometimes it generates like 2 or 3 diagrams, but the issue is that my diagram skill, it only shows the last diagram that was created. And so what I need instead is when in the diagram modal that pops up, I want you to have tabs so a user can toggle between the various diagrams that have been created using the skill. So every time that the diagram endpoint is invoked for that particular session, make sure we just append the new diagram. Use the ship skill to implement this. All right, it looks like the table stuff might actually be done. So let's go. We have a table view. All right, if you're still on the stream, this is what we got. Does this seem good? Bro, this is just insane, man. AI is literally going to automate us out of a job. Like, it's... we will lose our jobs from AI. Like, this is insane. One prompt with Composer 2.5. You know how long this would have taken before AI? Like, this would have taken a long time. I don't know if I like the color schemes. Like, the buttons are a little bit... Let me go back over here, though. I'm not a fan of the buttons you added. Like, they don't look like my normal buttons. Can you just add like a split button like we do on the ship GitHub changes button? Can you do a video using your ship skills building an app? Yeah, I could try. I need to think of an app idea. So one thing that I wanted to do at some point was build like, I wanted to dive into like building a hosting company. I know Theo talked about it as well, but I need to think of a good idea that's like more complex, because I want to build it with mission control using my skills just to kind of demo like their usefulness. I just need to think of a good application idea, and then something hopefully that doesn't distract me from like actually building a mission control. So I don't know. All right, there we go. These buttons look good. I'll also say that the table color theme does not match my existing theme. And there's a bug with cursor. Seems like the second prompt into cursor causes it to change the title back to waiting for prompt. All right, this looks great. Now the table, can you analyze it? The table does not match the current theming of mission control. It's like a gray out background color table. Can you analyze the table and analyze how the theme kind of works in mission control so that the table has a similar theme? Change it up. Let's do a lime. Hypothetical question. What happens if AI is doing all of our jobs? What would happen to the economy in the world? Honestly, I'm not really sure. One of those are, we'll cross that bridge when it happens, right? We can't predict the future. Maybe AI will generate more jobs. Maybe we'll all have more jobs. Kind of hard to stay positive when literally every big company keeps laying off everyone. And even me myself, there's stuff that I've one prompted AI to add in that would have taken me like weeks to do. Like this entire mission control app, like I feel like I've been working on it for like 2 weeks. There's no way in the past like I could build this in 2 weeks. And this is 2 weeks like I'm sitting in bed watching TV just prompting. If I was full-time working on mission control, like someone could literally rebuild this whole project in probably like 2 or 3 days if they have a $200 a month Claude Code subscription and a Codex subscription. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, man. I think there's some parts of this industry like marketing, management, talking to users and clients that AI cannot fix. Like, and when you have the actual idea of what you want built, you can leverage AI to build it extremely fast. But if you need to actually work with clients and users who have a fuzzy idea what they want built and they don't really understand technology, they don't understand how to build this stuff out, it just adds in a whole nother dimension of complexity, because now you can't just sit there and keep on prompting and prompting and prompting. You have to go and talk to your clients, try to get into their heads and like, what do they want built? And then you build it for them. They're like, well, I don't really want that. So now it's just, you can't just like pick off Claude Code in a loop for 24 hours, right? You actually have to sit down with clients and understand what they want. How does it actually improve their productivity, what you're building for them? Sometimes they'll ask for something that they don't even necessarily need. They think they need it. You add it in, you get it deployed to them. They realize, oh, I actually want that. So it's just, I don't know if the actual like professional stuff is going to go away too fast. But I do think if you can get like someone who really knows how to, like has a really good understanding of what they want built, I think they can build it themselves pretty well. I'm just kind of rambling at this point. Let's see. Nice. There we go. This looks good. This matches my theme. All right, let me I'm gonna go ahead and just add those changes too. We're getting a lot of changes here. I don't know if I like how it's like over, like you see that? It's kind of weird. Let me go ahead and make a new session. In the get diff modal that pops up on the left panel, I'm noticing that in the titles of the needs approved / approved changes, it's transparent. Like the header is transparent and I can see through the text. I need you to make that completely black so that the text underneath doesn't bleed through. And then I want to test something else on this. I'm going to go here. Print hello world. I think there's like a little bug with cursor still where like the title gets deleted after it's been. Okay, it's working fine. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's something we fixed over here. We probably did fix it, honestly. Oh, are these sharing sessions? I think I have 2 separate mission control instances sharing the same SQL database. That could be potentially problematic when doing development too. But yeah, let's just go back to the get diff. Got to do a hard refresh there. Nice. Looks good. Yeah, I think this is pretty good. It's becoming better. Got the table view. I'm not sure what pinning them does. Maybe sorting by pin would be kind of useful, because right now you can pin stuff, but like, what's the point? I think, yeah, adding sort by pin would be very useful. Which one is my table stuff? I'll just start over. I'll start a new session. Can you also, in the table view in the dashboard route of the projects table, make the pinned column sortable so I can easily find and make all the pinned projects go to the top? I worked on my agentic dev environment in 2 days in Electron. AI struggles a lot. At a lot, like Lyft users, it's for customer support and it's awful. AI is really good at coding. Everything else it's awful at. Yeah, that's something I've been trying to like debate for a while. Like I want to build like my own railway. I like railway a lot. And I think it'd be cool building a service like that. And it's something I've never done before, right? Like I think at every point of your career you have to challenge yourself. And okay, I don't know what I'm trying to say, because is it really challenging yourself if you're not building it yourself? Like I'm using AI to build it. That's the real question. But I do think it is a challenge, even trying to harness these agents to build something for you. At least that's what I'm telling myself. I mean, could anyone else rebuild this by hand? Probably. When you can grab like a high schooler and give him Claude code, and if he can rebuild basically a lot of these things, like that's when we're done. Like it's over. You know what I'm saying? But yes, I should stay positive. I gotta stay positive. If you're gonna do something like this one, I'm in. Yeah, it might be cool. I definitely want to do a railway type of thing where I can deploy containers. And at the very least, that type of service, like you're entering a realm of like compliance and data resilience. Like it's a lot more risky, which means you need to know what you're doing, because if you accidentally delete everyone's running API, it's not going to be very good, right? I don't think just having a little like a policy saying, yeah, we might drop your data, or at least don't do database stuff, right? You could host something like Heroku where you can run their APIs, but the whole database thing, like the moment you accidentally leak everyone's, like all your customers' keys, you better make sure you have an LLC set up and you have some type of protection, because you're probably going to come and get sued, honestly. Although I don't know if people even sue these companies. Like when these companies leak all everyone's information, like Vercel leaks all your information, do they ever get sued for damages or anything? What tool are you using for SST or STT? What's STT? Oh, text to speech? Text to speech, TTS? Oh, speech to text. I'm dumb. Seems like it's time to use mission control to design the arc diagram for it. Oh, speaking of diagrams, let me go back and test that diagramming tool, because that's something I told it to do. Can you generate me some diagrams using the diagram skill so that I can visualize how Academy works, not only with the deployments of mission control, but also just give me an overview of when someone signs in. Generate me 3 different diagrams using the diagram skill. Okay, so the point of this test is I want to make sure that it loads up the diagram modal. It has 3 tabs at the top, and then I could potentially add in another one I could append to it, because I do believe I prompted that. Okay, 1, 2, 3, here we go. And now I can close out of it. I can open them back up. Add in one more diagram that I didn't think about into this, using the diagramming skill. Yeah, I think I have like the core functionality of what I do every day in my day-to-day development. Oh no, did it just overwrite it? No. Oh no, it worked. I don't know if I like it how it just forced open though. Create one more diagram for me using the diagram skill. Did it just force open the modal? That might not be a very good user experience. Instead, I think I would like a notification or something. Yeah, I don't like that. That's a very bad user experience. So we're going to go over here and we're going to make a new session. I don't like how when the diagram skill invokes the diagram API that it forces the modal to open to a user. That's a very bad user experience. Instead, put a notification in the top right notification panel with a different type of notification so they can just go and open the diagram. It should say like your diagram is ready. They can click open. That takes them to the project that shows the modal, and then they can review the diagram. Make sure you go specifically to that diagram that was generated, because the diagram modal could have 4 or 5 different diagrams in tabs. So you need to take them directly to that particular diagram so they can see it. Use the ship skill when implementing this. Yeah, overall Composer is pretty good. I'm not going to lie, it's pretty good. Every feature you saw in the stream was basically used by Composer, except for like 1 or 2 bug fixes with codecs I just defaulted to. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed. It's really good, and it's super cheap. It's fast. No, you're good. I think I had a brain fart, like SST, speech to text. That makes sense. Because of all these companies getting hacked, all my personal info out there, what do I get? Nothing but an email saying my credentials got leaked. Yeah, it's like, oh, sorry. Today I worked on building a simple version of Pocket Base and Golang because I wanted to learn it. It literally built everything from auth to file uploads. It overwhelmingly, especially for a junior like me. Yeah, Composer is fast too. Composer cooking with Kimmy K. Can we use Composer 2.5 in open code? I don't think so. I think Composer is like, it's like specifically a model for Cursor and Cursor CLI. Yeah, I know, it's crazy, man. Like, you know what's even crazier? The people who are anti-AI. Like every senior engineer I work with who's been in the industry for like 10, 20 years, they see AI and they're like, wow, this is actually crazy. And they're using it every day, right? I feel like the people online who are like anti-AI, I just don't understand their perspective. It's just, I just do not understand it. Like, yeah, I can ship bad code. Maybe that's the argument. And maybe it's because I'm in web development, which is why also I'm like blown away by how good it's getting, how fast and capable it's getting. Or prompt, let me clear all the. Mm. All right, let's see if this works. Let's refresh. I do feel like it lost some of my diagrams. Any upposted resources? What the heck? Why is it printing that out? That weird. I'm gonna debug that with a codex. I'm noticing that when I run the Electron app, I saw this message show up. This should have never displayed when I'm running Electron mode. Can you debug why this is displaying now? Hmm. Something got messed up. Not sure what. Yeah. I mean, I've honestly been debating making a brand new channel that's just AI related. So from the get-go, I'm growing an audience who actually wants to learn AI. The issue with my channel is that I was teaching how to code, and then all of a sudden, like, there's no point to teaching it. At least I don't think there's a point. I mean, there's people still signing up for boot.dev and stuff and trying to learn how to code. It just seems kind of silly at this point with the amount of code I've seen AI ship out. Yeah, this is definitely an issue. The problem with AI is not AI itself, but companies replacing you with someone in India who uses AI. Yeah, I mean, because you can hire someone for like $2 an hour and give them a Claude Code subscription and say, hey, build me stuff. Versus hiring an American for $60 an hour or whatever, giving them a Cloud Code subscription and say, hey, ship me stuff. There could be a language barrier, and maybe that's the one thing that may prevent it from happening. Also, the time zone barrier is kind of annoying, honestly. Like when you're working 9 to 5 and then someone else is like sleeping, it's just literally impossible to get work done because you have to like send a message and then 8 hours later they get back to you. But I think if you're really good at creating a whole giant document and a plan of how something needs to be created, giving it to someone who can build it for super cheap, I don't know. We'll just have to see. The UI looks really good. You should add more WoW-related icons, but the trade-off would be a common icons, which users understand. Yeah, I don't want to go that far into the whole custom icons. I think it would be cool. Maybe it could be like an upgrade or like a toggle in the theme menu. I'm trying to keep accessibility in mind. Like if you do too much that's different than how normal web applications work, people are going to be kind of turned off by it, but BridgeMine AI. Hey, what's up, BridgeMine? Yo, y'all go check out BridgeMine. Let me give a shout out to 2 people who joined the stream. I forgot to give a shout out. BridgeMine. Dude. I still need to review his bridge code. He gave me a setup to go. I want to make a video about it. But go check out BridgeMine. This guy is like literally, if you were to summarize agentic coding, how a developer should be doing agentic coding, go check out BridgeMine. Like this guy, he's unstoppable. Literally unstoppable. All right, and then we can go to let me find Leon. And then Leon. He's also a creator that I talk to all the time, kind of bounce ideas off of and stuff. BridgeMine would never be out of tokens. Replacing with AI, whether artificial or agent would be a thing before AI. Now it's just artificial. All right, is this thing done? Root cause, the host cleanup text was set unconditionally in the shared project route before any Electron server. Let me do a hard refresh. I'm not sure why this is not reloading. Let me just stop this. Yes, totally broke it. What happened with the hover state? Okay, something totally broke here. Let me just close all this stuff. I don't know which one to delete, so I'm going to delete all of them. Nice, nothing's closing. Well, maybe this is a good stopping point. I mean, I think we made some good changes. I've broken my computer at this point. But yeah, all the changes that I did on the stream, I will have those committed, and I'll make another release soon that you guys can grab and play around with and test. Feel free to give me feedback. You can join the Discord community. What was that noise? Curious if you have tried Base 44. I just got an ad for it. I have not. I haven't really tried the lovable Base 44 stuff. Like, maybe they're really great. I just haven't tried them. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to end the stream. I'll get this stuff committed. And we'll see where we go from here. Maybe I'm going to try to start streaming more. I want to stream 2 times a week, but we'll see. It's just hard to find time. And I will reach back out to you, S8X, about your Discord message. And then I will give Sharon a free key, since he's helped me out a ton. And Florin, Is that how you say it? Florinstral, whatever. 6590. Florin, thank you for the feedback for the tables. Let me know if there's anything else you want me to add to the app. Again, like I only have like 5 pro members. So if you ask for something, I'll probably add